Hi everybody, Miss Ladybug here. Debbie. I started out doing a live video to share with one of my support groups on Facebook, but I wasn't having very good connection, and it booted me off. So I thought I'd just do another long run video because I'm having a decent day today. I actually shared on the first video I did. I gave a little tour of my place because I'm so excited that everything's all clean and put away. I got all the laundry done and I wiped everything down and made my bed and did the dishes, and I've actually been doing a little bit of cooking and a little bit more close to my baseline type of a day. I did sleep last night also, and that was another thing that I mentioned. It's astounding what a decent night's sleep will do, although I have concerns about that because like I slept over 12 hours, and it's because of the medications that they've put me on for sleep, and it blocks me from having any recollection of dreams. It also helps me to sleep and go into REM sleep, but because of some PTSD stuff, I have nightmares, which might have been partly why I didn't sleep for years. But I think I have other theories on that the more I'm learning. Anyway, it has been a good day. I've got my laundry done, my house clean, cooking done, some cooking going on, and took a walk around outside, and all those things help. Unfortunately, I can't do that every day right now. And you know, it's like my friend Michael told me, and thank you, Michael, for calling when you saw that I was struggling and having a rough time of it. I really appreciate that. But he told me, you know, this process is 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And I think, well, at least for myself, that 1 step back can be like you're touching clear back to the beginning for a moment. It's just, this is just such a painful journey, and we want to heal so badly, and it just hurts when it hurts. So anyway, I wanted to share, since I am feeling fairly level and cognizant, and hopefully my thought processes will continue to be straightforward while I share this. But I wanted to share my initiation to psychological pharmacology, and how that looked for me, and how I got to the point of where I was taking, you know, like 3 milligrams of Xanax a day and 90 milligrams of oxycodone a day and muscle relaxers and things because I couldn't go to the bathroom, and things because I had irritable bowel syndrome, and things because I had allergies. And holy crap, I have been under the pharmacology heavy-handedness for quite some time. So my first initiation that I can really recall was when my children's father left us, abandoned us, and we got later divorced. But I was doing, I had my own landscape maintenance company and also worked with my father at that time and part-time. And I had been inside of this big shrub, it was the entire length of the backyard of this woman's property, and it was a type of cedar, and I was inside cleaning it out, and I don't know if I was in there, thinking about things that were upsetting, or if I was thinking about, I don't know what, I can't remember, but I just remember that I came running out of those bushes because I could not breathe. It felt like I had an elephant on my chest. I thought I was having a heart attack. I couldn't catch my breath, and I got in my truck and I drove myself straight to urgent care, and I told them, I think I'm having a heart attack, I can't breathe, and my chest hurts so bad, and they got me right in, and they started checking me out, and they said, you're having a panic attack. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening, but it feels horrible, and I can't breathe, and, help, and they gave me this little pill called Xanax. And it was like magic. Thinking back, it was just so wonderful because it made that go away, but it didn't make me goofy or loopy or silly. It just took that away and kind of made me feel, and I was grateful because I was really miserable when that was happening. So I had Xanax occasionally for severe, when I would have a panic attack. I got diagnosed, that's when I got diagnosed with panic disorder. And no one looked into it any further. They just gave me that pill. I didn't get sent to counseling. Nobody did anything. They just gave me the pill. And I would take it when I was having a panic attack. So then, so that was when I was 30. So jump forward about 9 years, and I had been through yet another relationship that had ended, and I had developed a gambling disorder. And I was taken to treatment. My father and second husband did an intervention, and I went into outpatient treatment and was going to a psychologist, and I got put on Prozac, or I don't even remember what I got put on first, but I have been on Prozac and Zoloft and tried on Cymbalta and tried on Celexa, which isn't an antidepressant, that's for pain, I believe. And Luvox and Paxil, and so when the gambling got really bad one time, and I landed in the psych unit. This was in 1996. That was my first hospitalization, and they diagnosed me with symptomatic of OCD. And I was going to counseling. I was going to outpatient gambling treatment. And I was taking Luvox. They prescribed Luvox, and also Xanax for severe panic attacks, and Ambien. I was on Ambien, 10 milligrams, every night for 5 years. The insurance company would only pay for 2 weeks. And so my psychiatrist gave me samples to make up the difference so that I could have it every night. I also developed fibromyalgia, or what they said was fibromyalgia, and was told that I was borderline Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I was not ever... I did not have a good workup on my thyroid when that happened. That's when I started doctor shopping, not for pills, but just for what's wrong with me, because I don't feel good. Um, yeah, I mean, I wasn't feeling good. I hurt. I couldn't sleep. Um, Even with the Ambien, I wasn't sleeping often. It was becoming a problem. I had worked at the Brown Truck Company and worked weird hours, and that's when my sleep started getting really, really bad. And that was 94 through 97. So that was, that was the beginning, was the Ambien and the Luvox and the Xanax. And I'd always been a really high strung, kind of emotional, sensitive person, and very driven to survive. But I wasn't driven to greatness. I just was driven to survive because that's how life felt for me, has always felt for me. So, on all these medications, at first it helped, but when the pain issues began to surface, and then I started on the pain medications, as well as I took Xanaflex, and I took multiple non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and then of course, you have your over-the-counters to counteract all the side effects. So you've got stuff to help you go to the bathroom, stuff to make you not go to the bathroom, stuff to help you sleep. Benadryl. I mean, everybody took Benadryl. And through all this, I put myself through college, raising my three of my children by myself for 4 years. And then my oldest went to live with his father when he was a little over 10. So I guess I had all of them by myself for about 6 years. And then after that, it was just the two youngest by myself. I lost track of where I was. So, I was taking a lot of medications. I was trying to work. I was working. And, I was just trying. I kind of was always just kind of go. And my family, when I got put on these medications, all told me that it made me a better person, more tolerable and easy to be around, because I wasn't so driven and so fast, because I was a fast moving, go, 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 go person. And the rest of my family wasn't of that nature. And my drivenness and my hyperactiveness, I guess, made people uncomfortable. So they thought the pills were a solution or an improvement. So I took the medicine like a good daughter, like a good mommy, like a good student, like a good community member, like a good nurse, like a good patient. Tea. So I was going through my gambling addiction that started in 94 and has been in remission. I haven't gambled for 6 years and 9 months. But I have had a lot of medications, and about 2.5 years ago, I was putting weight on and I was falling down a lot. I hadn't been able to work for the last 5 years. I got injured one too many times, and the pain pill started on, and it was about just a little over 2 years ago, and it was, it's like, God, I'm taking pills all the time, and I feel like crap. And I got introduced to medical marijuana, and I started using cannabis oil, and like a full spectrum cannabis oil. and it was helping my pain better than I'd had in a long time. And I would sleep sometimes, but I still battled with the insomnia. Um, so I started weaning myself off the medications, and somewhere along the line I got switched to Ativan. And I can't tell you when that happened. That could have happened 2 years ago. It could have happened 10 years ago. I don't remember. I know I've taken Xanax off and on for many, many years, and then they switched me to Ativan, and I don't remember any big event, because you have to remember there are many years that I used Xanax, just occasionally, like it's, prescribed, not how it later was prescribed to take every day. So I started titrating myself down, and I was doing very well. I was losing weight. I lost like 45 pounds. I remember my good friend Myrna. She saw me 2 years ago at a bazaar, a Christmas bazaar about this time of year, and I was all puffy and overweight and depressed and tired looking, not healthy looking, because I never slept. And she had said she didn't even recognize me. And so I started this taper, and then I ran into her again like 18 months later, and she was like, "There you are, you're back." And I still wasn't all the way off. But I did get all the way off of, they just, the muscle relaxers went away pretty easily. The allergy medications went away pretty easily. I had not been on them very long, thank goodness. I was on a fairly low dose of Effexor extended release. I've been on that for 7 years now, which kind of scares me because so anyway, I was on between 37.5 and 75 milligrams of that, off and on. I think once I got up to 100, 150, and then titrated back down. And it was a little uncomfortable, but nothing like this. Nothing at all, titrating down. And in titrating down the Ativan towards the end, I wasn't really feeling anything then either, because the medical marijuana that I was using felt like it was really working quite well, until I jumped off. And, I was prepared for being uncomfortable. I was really prepared with the pain medications. I've detoxed people as a nurse off pain medications. I've helped anyway. Now I see the error of our ways of how we do that, because we use a lot of benzos to detox, and then you have to detox them off that later somewhere down the road, or they have to live on it forever. Those are our two options. And for many of us, all it takes is a time or two where you haven't got your prescription filled on time. And, I've had an Effexor headache or brain pain, zinging brain pain, that was out of this world because of a mess up somewhere between the doctor and the pharmacy and me getting it. I've been out of pain medication and been thrown into detox. Oh, and that's just, you can't imagine. But nothing prepared me. Nothing in my education, nothing in my personal experiences of dealing with addiction in other areas, as well as I was in inpatient treatment for my gambling addiction, and I was in the same unit with drug addicts of all kind and alcoholics. So, I've had a lot of education, And even in that environment, I did not hear about, in fact, I was prescribed benzos when I was in treatment for gambling addiction. I was prescribed pain medication because they understood that the gambling had been acting as a analgesic, and possibly have some components of the benzodiazepines. I'm not sure of that. I'd have to do some investigating. But when I was in treatment, I was prescribed those. And then I got out of treatment and went back to work and got injured and was taken off work. And over the course of the last 5 years, 4.5 years before this, I had a primary care physician who just prescribed medications. It wasn't until I pressed on some issues, like finding out about the food allergies. That was because of my own research, and my own testing of myself, of taking myself off foods and seeing that I felt so much better. So, I just didn't know what would happen when I jumped off. And now in hindsight, my timing was horrible. I should have titrated down quite a lot more. I mean, I was at 1 milligram every night for sleep, and occasionally took one during the day if I was having anxiety. So I didn't titrate down far enough on the benzos, and I realize that now, but it's where it is now. I'm grateful today that I have done this in spite of the trauma and drama and horrific experiences that I've had. I'll never go back on them again. And I'm anxious to come off of the ones that they've put me on to sleep because they are not working. They've put me on Seroquel, mirtazapine, and clonidine, and they are not working every night. And that is how the Ambien became, and that is how the Xanax was, and that is how the Ativan was. It works until it doesn't, and you need more. And so I'm hoping to find a access again to quality medical marijuana and work with someone on actually getting strains that are specifically for anxiety and PTSD, because it's very easy, I have found, for myself anyway. Most the general sativa and indica strains, if they're blended, and there's no, for me anyway, specific strains that I need, but if I have a nice blend with the full spectrum oil, it takes care of my pain. It really does. But I have only found 1 or 2 things so far that has really helped me sleep, and I didn't have the funds or wherewithal to obtain those strains and from the dispensaries. So I do hope that I can connect with someone and have that happen. Right now I'm getting a little anxious because my supply is dwindling, and I'm not going to be getting the medicine I thought I was going to be getting because I had to leave my plants behind. And that's a different story, but yeah, I mean, I'm used to having plenty in my possession of multiple strains, and I am down to just a very, very small amount, like maybe another month or two, because I'd planned it out. I was sharing and gifting through the summer because I had plenty, and in my community, I just, people were kind of starting to run short, and I would just, hey, here you go, because I wasn't worried about it at first. Anyway, so that's my journey of from the beginning of pharmacology to today, where I'm at, and what I've been dealing with. Um, and that was just trying to stick straight to the crux of it. I do want to share something. I watched a couple videos today, and one of them is someone I've watched before, and I really enjoy her. Oh gosh, darn it, where is it? Bren Brown. And I watched her video on shame today, and coming off benzodiazepines, and for me, I had a couple psychotic events through this, and I've been shamed. I've been shamed, and it's made it very difficult, because it's made it very hard to move forward. And shame, she talks about shame is very, very much gender based, and men don't do shame. They don't do shame because they can't allow themselves to be that vulnerable. I've been very vulnerable. I've been sharing my story since the onset, which I had forgotten, but my last daily dose of benzodiazepines was July 12th, the day after Benzodiazepine Awareness Day. And so I think that was kind of meant to be. And it just was, I'd run out and I just didn't go fill my prescription. That's how that happened. It's like, I'm doing okay. I just won't take it anymore. And once I'd gotten past, a couple of weeks, I thought I knew I'd have a couple of weeks of hell, but I just thought, okay, a couple of weeks of hell and I'll just be okay. And here I am at, almost 4.5 months and having meltdowns still. Thank God I'm not psychotic, but I do go through that beating myself up and shaming myself, and then fighting to be noticed, not for the things that I'm being shamed about. The other thing she said is the way for us to bypass and get past the shame is with empathy. Empathy. Because, if there's empathy, then secrecy and silence and judgment can't survive. If there's empathy there has to be communication. And the opposite of empathy is shame. And we need to not shame ourselves about this. We did not ask for this. I was not informed. Even as a nurse, I was not informed. And not to the degree of how this really is, of the horrible, horrible symptoms that we have to deal with, and how we lose our life, our whole life. It does help me. I'm meeting a few other people that are going through this to realize I'm not the only one who has been somewhat, well, I've been shamed and abandoned. And I've personally pulled myself away from some people just because of that, because I couldn't take it anymore. So I guess I'll just wrap up with, this is a hell of a ride. I am trying so hard to fight the benzo liar in my brain, that thing that tells me I'm not worth it and I'm not good enough and it's all my fault. And you all know, those of you that are dealing with this, how that is. I'm reminding myself I didn't ask for this and I don't deserve this, but that doesn't mean that's going to fix it. My brain has to heal. My body has to heal. I still have medications I need to taper off of. And I'm going to be on a journey, but I'm very grateful that I can be vulnerable. I don't have anything to hide, and I never have, since I have been in recovery for gambling. So I'm glad I don't have to worry about the guilt. I know what I've done wrong, and I try to move forward, and I try to right my wrongs, but there's no righting the wrong of all of this, because there isn't. The only righting of fixing it is just to endure the pain and to try our best to be of encouragement to one another, to remind one another that benzo liar is a liar, and it's the withdrawal, or it's the detox, that it's not you, and that we need to remind each other that healing happens in time, with 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And even though that 1 step back sometimes feels like you're just slammed clear back to the beginning for a moment, it just will take your breath away. Or for myself, there have been times that I'm trucking along and it just literally just knocks me down, but it's lasting less and less. So this is a movement of progress, and I am grateful for the support that I have from my Ladybug page, from a few friends that truly do understand what this is about, and who weren't looking at me to fix anything in their life or take care of them in any way, and so they can just be there for me like I have for them. There's no exchange except that a human to a human. Anyway, I hope you've got something out of all of that. This is a bit of a journey, and when I stop and think that I took that first pill 24 years ago, and all the medications that have been there since then, I hadn't thought about it. I was just following doctor's orders. But now I am following my intuition. I am following my intuition that started me on this journey. And even though my brain won't work every day and can't stay focused that way, I have somehow told myself, just keep going forward with this. And if it takes a couple years, I guess it takes a couple years. And but I think that I deserve good things, um, and when I can get my brain back, God willing, you know, I can live with pain, I can live with um, anxiety, I can live with insomnia, but I can't live very well if my brain, um, if my intellect is challenged continually, like it has been in the last 6 months, 5 months. So anyway, I'm just hoping my brain will get better. And as it does, I'm going to keep sharing, and I'm going to keep researching, and I am going to share this in communities like hospitals and doctors and nurses and nursing homes, high schools. I'm going to share this information that I gather about pharmacology and the downside, or the getting off of downside. I'm going to share it and help people. It's the only reason I can think of that I've gone through what I've gone through, is so that I can help somebody else. So I hope this helps you, and I just wish you peace. Bye.